All right, so get ready because we're about to take a deep dive
Into a world.
where politics and crypto collide.
Crazy. Right.
It's like, what?
Exactly.
We're talking Donald Trump and the future of business and this company called Selldone that's making some pretty bold moves in the blockchain space.
That's right.
You might be thinking,
You're probably like, wait, Trump
and crypto.
How does that even go together?
Yeah, like how does that even make sense?
Yeah, well.
That's exactly what we're here to unpack today.
I think you're going to be surprised with what we find out.
I think so too.
What we're going to explore is how Trump's presidency could actually spark like a full-on crypto revolution.
Okay.
And how Selldone is positioning themselves right at the heart of it.
Interesting.
Our source material for this deep dive is an article called How Trump's Presidency Could Spark a Crypto Revolution and Why It Matters to Business.
Okay.
And let me tell you, it lays out some fascinating predictions.
Okay, so before we get into Trump in the future, let's just kind of set the stage here.
Yeah.
For anyone who's been living under a rock for the past decade, remind us what the crypto landscape looks like right now.
Sure. It's a bit of a roller coaster, isn't it? Think back to 2012.
Okay.
The early days of Coinbase, when they were offering 0.1 Bitcoin for referrals, and people barely batted an eye.
Right.
Now, that same fraction of Bitcoin could be worth a small fortune.
Yeah, the value of crypto has just absolutely skyrocketed.
Yeah.
But it's been a wild ride with all the volatility.
Exactly. That's the thing about crypto. It's exciting, it's disruptive, but it's also unpredictable.
Totally.
And that's where the whole regulatory landscape comes into play.
Right.
Governments around the world, they're still trying to figure out how to deal with this new asset class.
Right.
And that uncertainty has been a major hurdle for wider adoption.
Okay, so enter Donald Trump.
Stage, right?
This article suggests his policies might actually be the catalyst.
The big push.
That pushes crypto into the mainstream.
It could be.
What are some of the specific ways that could happen?
Well, there are whispers about potential presidential orders.
Okay.
Focused on simplifying crypto regulations, making the market more accessible and, dare I say, more practical. Imagine regulations that actually encourage institutional investors to jump in instead of scaring them away.
Hold on. Are you saying regulations could actually be a good thing for crypto?
I know, right?
Isn't that usually the kiss of death for innovation?
It's a surprising twist, right? But think about it.
Okay.
Clearer regulations could create a more stable and predictable environment for crypto businesses to operate in. It could address the fears that have kept some big players on the sidelines.
Okay, I'm starting to see how this could play out.
Yeah.
But let's not forget the elephant in the room.
The what?
A U.S.-backed stablecoin.
Right.
I mean, if that actually happens, wouldn't that be a seismic shift?
Yeah, it would be huge. Imagine a digital dollar pegged to the U.S. dollar.
Okay.
But with all the benefits of blockchain technology, speed, security, transparency, that could be the bridge that brings traditional finance and the crypto world together.
But wouldn't that contradict the whole decentralized ethos of cryptocurrency?
Well,
wouldn't it essentially give the government even more control over our finances?
That's a valid concern, and it's something that crypto enthusiasts are already debating.
Right.
But proponents argue that a stablecoin could actually make crypto more accessible and less intimidating for everyday people.
Right.
It could be the key to unlocking mainstream adoption.
Okay, I see your point.
Yeah.
So we've got potential regulatory changes.
You do?
A possible U.S.-backed stablecoin. And a crypto market that's already on a roller coaster ride.
Absolutely.
And somewhere in the middle of all this is Selldone.
That's right.
Tell me, how do they fit into this puzzle?
Selldone is a company that's not just talking about the future.
Okay.
They're building it. And they're doing it on the Solana blockchain.
Okay, but why Solana?
Yeah.
There are tons of blockchains out there.
There are a lot.
What makes this one so special for Selldone?
Solana is known for its speed and scalability, which are crucial for Selldone's vision.
Okay.
They're building an entire ecosystem for e-commerce.
Wow.
And they need a blockchain that can handle a high volume of transactions without breaking a sweat.
So it's not just about speed. It's about being able to handle a ton of transactions quickly and efficiently.
Exactly.
That makes sense, especially if Selldone is aiming to bring blockchain to the masses.
Exactly. They've even created their own coin, SLDN, built on the Solana blockchain. And they've got some pretty innovative ideas about how to use it.
All right, let's dive into that. What's so special about SLDN?
It's definitely not your typical meme coin.
Okay.
Selldone is very intentional about how they're designing SLDN. For starters, it's backed by the Selldone platform itself, which gives it inherent value and trust.
So it's not just floating out there in the ether.
No.
It's actually connected to a real-world business platform.
Exactly.
That's a smart move,
Yeah.
especially in a market as volatile as crypto.
Right.
But how will they actually use SLDN?
Well, they're thinking long-term,
Okay.
envisioning a future where SLDN isn't just a currency,
Okay.
but a tool for managing complex interactions within their ecosystem.
Okay.
They see a future where businesses rely heavily on things like virtual staff and AI agents to handle all sorts of tasks.
That sounds like a scene straight out of a sci-fi movie.
I know, right?
Robots running businesses, making decisions, and now transacting with their own cryptocurrency.
It's coming.
What would that even look like in practice?
Imagine this. An AI agent needs to purchase access to a specific AI model or advertising platform to complete a task for a Selldone user. SLDN could facilitate that transaction securely and transparently, all on the blockchain.
Wow.
It's like a digital handshake between machines powered by SLDN.
Okay, now that is fascinating.
Right.
So we're not just talking about people buying and selling products with SLDN.
No.
It's about facilitating this whole network of automated interactions within the Selldone ecosystem.
Exactly.
It's like SLDN is becoming the internal currency of this futuristic digital workforce.
That's a great way to put it.
Wow.
And it highlights how Selldone is strategically positioning themselves. They're not just reacting to the rise of blockchain. They're actively shaping how it will be used in the business world.
It's a bold move, for sure.
It is.
But the potential benefits are huge if they can pull it off.
Huge.
Think about the efficiency gains, the increased security, the transparency. I mean, those are all things businesses are already struggling with in the digital age.
Absolutely. And don't forget the accessibility.
Right.
One of Selldone's goals is to make blockchain technology less intimidating for everyday users.
Okay.
They believe a user-friendly interface
All right.
and a clear understanding of SLDN's value proposition are key to driving adoption.
But hold on, wouldn't tying SLDN's value so closely to the Selldone platform make it vulnerable to fluctuations in the company's performance?
Well,
what if Selldone hits a rough patch? Wouldn't that drag SLDN down with it?
That's a valid point, and it's a risk Selldone has to manage carefully.
Yeah.
However, they're mitigating this by locking 60% of SLDN as a reserve.
Okay.
This ensures its long-term value and reliability, even as the way we think about payments and commerce fundamentally changes.
So it's a calculated risk.
It is.
They're betting that the value they bring to the table with their platform and the utility of SLDN within their ecosystem will outweigh any potential downsides.
Exactly, and they're not alone in this belief.
Okay.
Remember those predictions about Trump's potential influence on the crypto market? Selldone sees those policies as potentially accelerating the adoption of cryptocurrency.
Right.
And they're building the tools to capitalize on that shift.
It's all starting to connect now. They're anticipating a world where robots, AI agents, and virtual staff are major players in the e-commerce landscape.
That's right.
All transacting seamlessly with SLDN as the backbone.
Yeah.
It's like they're building the infrastructure for a whole new way of doing business online.
That's a great summary.
Wow.
They're betting on a future where blockchain technology is deeply integrated into the fabric of commerce.
Okay.
And they're creating the infrastructure to make that vision a reality.
Okay, but let's zoom out for a second.
Okay.
And look at the bigger picture.
Yeah.
What does it mean for the world if machines are making transactions using blockchain technology?
Oh.
I mean, are we talking about a robot uprising here, or is that taking things a bit too far?
Well, a robot uprising might be a bit dramatic.
Okay.
But it is a fundamental shift in how we think about work commerce and even the very nature of value.
Wow.
It raises questions about how we'll manage resources, ensure fairness, and adapt to a world where machines are increasingly making financial decisions.
That's both exciting and a little unnerving.
Right.
There's so much potential for positive change. But it's hard to ignore those potential risks and challenges.
Absolutely. It's uncharted territory.
Yeah.
And it's natural to feel both intrigued and apprehensive.
Right.
It forces us to start asking tough questions about ethics, accountability, and the role of humans in a world increasingly driven by autonomous systems.
It's almost like we're entering a new frontier.
It is new frontier.
Then we need to be prepared for the unexpected.
Absolutely.
And with Trump's potential pro-crypto policies on the horizon,
Right.
things could get even more interesting.
It's going to be wild.
We've got companies like Selldone building the tools for a blockchain-driven future, and potentially a government that's becoming more open to the idea of cryptocurrency.
It's a recipe for rapid change, and it's hard to predict exactly how it will all play out.
Yeah.
But one thing is for sure.
What's that?
We need to stay informed, ask tough questions, and be prepared to adapt as the landscape continues to shift.
So what should listeners be paying attention to as this story unfolds? What are the key things to watch for?
Well, for one, keep a close eye on the regulatory landscape.
Okay.
Will Trump's policies actually translate into concrete actions that create a more favorable environment for crypto businesses?
Right.
And how will companies like Selldone adapt and innovate as those regulations take shape?
Okay. It's mind-blowing to think how quickly this whole landscape is changing.
Yeah.
We've got companies like Selldone building the future and potentially a government that's starting to embrace crypto.
Yeah.
But, one thing that really stood out to me in the article was the idea of a U.S.-backed stablecoin.
Ah, yeah, that could be the linchpin, couldn't it? Bridging the gap between the traditional financial world and this new frontier of digital assets.
Exactly. Because let's be real, most people aren't comfortable with the idea of their money's value swinging wildly from one day to the next.
Precisely. Volatility is exciting for speculation, but it's a nightmare for everyday transactions.
Yeah.
A stablecoin pegged to the U.S. dollar could provide that stability and predictability that people crave.
Imagine being able to use crypto for everyday purchases, knowing that its values can remain relatively stable. That could really open the floodgates for mainstream adoption.
It could indeed, and not just for individuals. Think about businesses and institutions that have been hesitant to dive into crypto because of that volatility.
Right.
A U.S.-backed stablecoin could be the thing that finally convinces them to take the plunge.
It's almost like we're on the verge of a paradigm shift in the global financial system, and it's all happening right before our eyes.
We're witnessing a convergence of technology, politics, and economics.
Yeah.
And it's creating this incredible moment of both opportunity and uncertainty.
And that's what makes these deep dives so fascinating. We're not just exploring abstract concepts, we're grappling with ideas that have the potential to reshape the world as we know it.
And Selldone is a prime example of that, their vision of a blockchain-powered ecosystem where businesses operate seamlessly, where transactions are secure and transparent, and where even machines can interact and transact with each other. It's a glimpse into what the future might hold.
It's a future that will require us to be adaptable, informed, and ready to embrace change. Because one thing is for sure, the pace of innovation isn't slowing down anytime soon.
Absolutely. We need to be active participants in shaping this future, not passive bystanders. That means staying informed, engaging in critical discussions, and asking tough questions.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, what's the one key takeaway you hope listeners will walk away with today?
I want them to understand that we're standing at a crossroads. The convergence of Trump's presidency, the rise of cryptocurrency, and the transformative power of blockchain technology is creating a moment unlike any other.
It's a moment filled with both immense potential and a healthy dose of uncertainty.
Exactly. It's a time for informed optimism, for thoughtful skepticism, and for a willingness to embrace the unknown.
It's a time to be both excited and a little bit scared, wouldn't you say?
Perhaps a bit of both, but above all, it's a time to be engaged. The future is being written as we speak, and we all have a role to play in shaping what it will become.
Well said. Thanks for joining us on this incredible journey.
The pleasure was all mine.
And to all our listeners out there, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep pushing the boundaries of what's possible. Until next time, stay curious.